G'day everyone, welcome back to True Eagle. For the first time in 2025, we're here to talk about an upcoming game. The season is finally here for us West Coast fans, and we take on the Gold Coast Suns on Sunday afternoon. And like I've said a few times, I'm going to be in attendance, and it will be a nice feeling to be back at Optus Stadium. Be kind of surreal. First Eagles game since the start of the channel. Not that that will really change my experience, but it's been a long time coming, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and even making that slightly annoying commute to Optus Stadium from where I live. I live in a different place now. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but just the feeling of being there, and first and foremost, being able to listen to us run out to our actual team song, that will feel good. That was something that I overlooked in my video I did last week, welcoming everyone back to the channel for 2025. And the team song was something that I covered a little bit when I first started this channel, because that was when we first started hearing the Eagles might revert to their old song. Now, I haven't actually seen confirmation that it'll be the exact version that existed between 2018 and 2019. I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but that particular version was only in effect for those 2 seasons. Prior to that, if I'm not mistaken, up until 2017, you did the whole Hey Eagles long intro. Anyway, getting off track once again. That for me will be part of the experience that I'm looking forward to. I do like our terrible original song, and I was very, very against the Birds of Tokyo version. So yes, I'm just looking forward to that. What happens after that is arguably much more important, but for now, I'm just excited to be there again. Let's talk about this game. There's a bit to cover off. We'll talk about some team news. I haven't formulated a best 23 for this season, but I think I did one towards the end of last year anyway, so not too much has changed. I did anticipate Beau Allen would probably be starting in the team round 1. I've seen today, I think Ryan Daniels tweeted that Beau Allen's been unwell and is unlikely to feature in his debut this weekend. So in addition to that, I have seen that Liam Ryan is in a little bit of doubt with a hamstring concern. He's listed as a fitness test, so we'll wait and see on that. For as far as we know, it's 50-50 whether he gets up. And Elijah Hewitt was reportedly in some doubt for this game last week. I think there was some sort of quad setback, but it's also been reported that he is available in theory. So again, it's not 100% locked in that he's going to be absolutely ready to go, but I really hope he does, particularly with the absence of Elliot Yeo in this game. We're going to need some midfield firepower, even if he's probably not going to be able to run out an entire game in the guts. So we've got Liam Ryan in doubt. We've got Beau Allen almost certainly not playing from the sounds of things. We know Elliot Yeo is out, really covering off the best 22 options here. And we do expect Elijah Hewitt will play in this game. So that's another point of excitement for me. I've always been a big Elijah Hewitt fan, and I've talked him up big time in terms of his talent on this channel. And, a player that I think could be really important for us going forward. So to see him simply back out on the park, that is something I'm going to be excited to see. This is also my first time seeing Harley Reid play in person. So there's just so much going on. I'm going to be overstimulated. So hopefully the game goes well. On the topic of injuries, just to cover off some other ones that are probably not going to feature in this game anyway. We know Campbell Chesser has a long-term injury. That sucks for him. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to play some reasonable footy this year towards the back end, most likely, because it's a contract year for him and he probably does need to perform. Callum Jamison's in the same boat. Again, this guy seems perpetually injured, but he's going to be out for a couple of months, I think. Pleasingly, Rhett Bazzo is only a week away, which surprised me. I swear when that was first reported, it sounded worse than what it's ultimately proven to be. I imagine he doesn't come into the team anytime soon. But once again, Bazzo finds himself probably needing to get a fair bit of match fitness before he's even in the mix for selection. So I suppose that could lead us into one topic that I'm intrigued to see how we line up defensively in this game. So we know McGovern's going to get picked, and Harry Edwards probably a lock for that other second key back spot. So with Mac Andrew reportedly not playing in this game, I'm intrigued to see how we shape up defensively, because Beau Allen, while he's not a key position by any stretch, he is quite a tall, athletic, intercepting player. So does that open the door for us to play someone like a Ryan Marrick? I don't know if it's a given that Ryan Marrick plays, given he didn't play a single minute in the other preseason game against North Melbourne, which I thought was odd in itself. When you select an extended bench, why not give him some minutes? But anyway, could that open the door for him to play a third tall intercepting role with Mac Andrew out of the opposition this weekend? I don't know if we'll shape up so tall. So that's just something to watch for me. I would love to see Marrick play because I really, really rate his talent, but it might not be suitable. There is another sort of elephant in the room with respect to how we strategize this year, and that's the ruck situation. So the ruck has been a problem for us since Nick Nat, mysteriously was under an injury cloud for an entire year and then retired. We have not looked good in that department for some time. I think Bailey Williams had a really good 2023, and then last year I think he took a bit of a step backwards, and we barely saw Matt Flynn. So I'm intrigued to see, how do we pick the team strategically? Are we going to go with Matt Flynn and Bailey Williams in the same team here? Well, I think Bailey Williams has probably got some serious competition for that second ruck spot, and I think it might be overkill personally, as it currently stands, to play Matthew Flynn, Bailey Williams, and someone like a Jack Williams and potentially Archer Reid. I'm going to say right here and now, 4 rucks or ruck options is probably excessive. I don't think all of those guys play, but my point being is, if we've got a Jack Williams who can be a forward ruck, is it, again, overkill to play Bailey Williams as well? We have favoured a taller forward line structure in the past, but we also have a new coach now and a different way of looking at things. So there's genuine question marks about how we're going to shape up. I'm going to release this on a Thursday morning in Perth, and we'll have our answer by about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, in the evening rather. But for me, I'll just say that personally, I think it's much of a muchness whether we pick Matt Flynn or Bailey Williams. For me, it does seem like Flynn has the inside running, but perhaps we go with Jack Williams and Archer Reid. Again, is that overkill? Possibly, but then I sort of justify it as giving a crack to someone who's really talented in Archer Reid, in my opinion, and Jack Williams cannot start this year in the waffle. I think we could get away with Matt Flynn as the primary ruck, supported by Archer Reid, and then a 3-prong forward line of Allen, Waterman, and Jack Williams. I don't think that's overkill. I guess to simplify everything I've just said, maybe it's a case of Bailey Williams versus Archer Reid for a spot in this week's 23, and I can't help but feel I'd probably rather see Archer Reid, given we saw a fair bit of him in the preseason game against North Melbourne. Anyway, we've just discussed a lot of team stuff, and that is pretty much all we have to assess based on the preseason. I mean, we could go through what we saw in the preseason, cover that a little bit in my last video, but I have been following football far too long to really bother trying to get too analytical about what happens in the preseason. I'm sure you all remember last year we got pantsed by Fremantle in the preseason derby, only to absolutely smash them in the first derby. So outside of that, a lot of the interesting speculation for me comes from how we're going to shape up, particularly given we have a new coach who may have an entirely different selection philosophy. But to speak on the Gold Coast Suns as an opponent, now they're going to be an interesting, maybe unknown quantity to some extent. I think there's a belief out there that is justified that the Gold Coast Suns are, due to pop. So many good players in an age bracket where they're probably going to start entering their prime, pretty well balanced across the field. They got good talls and good smalls, and the midfield in particular, and one of the best rucks in the game. Well, I'd say one of the most underrated, considering Jared Witz's profile as a footballer is not very high, but probably one of the more imposing, big-bodied rucks, and not a good matchup for us. So I think we're almost certainly going to lose the hitouts. But interestingly, the last time we did play the Gold Coast Suns, we managed to beat them in clearances. Don't think Touk Miller was playing in that game, and Elliot Yeo was playing for us. It is still possible that we best them in the clearances, but look, I just think when you look at the midfield battle in particular of this game, Witts, Anderson, Rowell, and Miller, amongst others, against a West Coast team with Harley Reid, admittedly, who could be great or could be quiet. He's a young guy. Tim Kelly, Jack Graham, Liam Duggan, potentially a bit of Elijah Hewitt, and our own rucks, which are a little bit of a, well, let's just call it a work in progress. But in terms of our head-to-head form against the Gold Coast Suns, it's actually a team we shape up all right against. They've beaten us a couple of times in Perth over the last 3 years where we've been diabolical. We have beaten them in the most recent encounter at Optus Stadium where Duggan kicked that great late goal and then Jamie Cripps kicked a 6-sealer. We live streamed that on the True Footy YouTube channel. Very happy days. That was a great win. So we're going to need to emulate what was a very strong performance by our standards last year to get over the top of them. They were also famously bad away from home last year. So there's an opportunity there for the Gold Coast Suns to click, and Damien Hardwick's had another preseason with them. A little bit of an unknown quantity. But generally, I do rate our ability to make a game of this. I don't know if I have the confidence to tip us. And in fact, if you've seen just the tips this week on the True Footy YouTube channel, you'll know that I didn't tip us. But I do believe we can win. And, sometimes when you support a team like us who has been struggling, we go into certain games thinking, oh, we got no chance, hope this doesn't get too bad. Or, hey, there's a chance we win here. And I think there's a chance we win here, absolutely. I think it would be silly to suggest we're no chance given we beat them not that long ago, to be honest. But just assessing it on strength of best 23s and where we're at and where Elliot Yeo is at, in other words, he's not playing, that is going to be a very tough obstacle for us to overcome. And I think we definitely start underdogs in this game. What may work in our favour is the fact that, it's the first game of the season, new coach, probably a pretty loud Optus Stadium with a good atmosphere. I can see West Coast playing well. And if West Coast play well, we do have the tools in particular where we could really get a hold of them. And hopefully there's enough exuberance there and enthusiasm where we could push them close. Gold Coast is not such a reliable side that I don't think we're a chance. But I will say that I think we start underdogs here. So I'm quietly optimistic, pretty quietly, but I'll be pretty disappointed if it goes badly. In other words, I'd like to see us at least get close in this game, but it is such an unknown at the moment. We have zero data to go from in this year, but I do think this game is winnable. And I know we have Brisbane at the Gabba next week and then the Derby, so this is the most winnable of at least our first 3 games. I don't remember who we play the week after that. But anyway, guys, I am going to tip us to go down on a close one, but hopefully we play well. Hopefully we see good signs. I'm expecting and hoping to see guys like Tyrell Dewar play, Jack Hutchinson play, and a couple of guys there that could really add some value to us as they take another step after a big pre-season. We do have a bunch of these types. Noah Long is another example. Our list is starting to pad out now with guys who probably could take the next step. They're not in their prime yet. But, from the signs we saw from particularly Long and Tyrell Dewar, we're seeing a clear evolution of them as players. And I think the amount of players we have in that category, well, it's higher than it's been over the last 3 years, that's for sure. So there's plenty of room for excitement. Will it be enough to win? I don't know. But you let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think? I've spoken to a lot of Eagles fans. Now that I'm back in Perth, it's weird seeing Eagles fans in person. There is a degree of confidence about this game. And, why not? We are a red-hot chance, but I'm trying to put my analytical hat on. And it's hard to make a case for it when you look at the best 22s against each other. Before we wrap up, guys, I'm actually participating in the World's Greatest Shave at the end of this month, where we're going to shave our heads. It's kind of like a work thing that we're doing, and I am one of the people that is going to shave their head, and I'm going to leave a link in the description if there's anyone that has a couple extra bucks to spare to help donate. Naturally, it's for charity, it's for cancer research, and again, it feels awkward asking people to donate to things, but in this case, it's for a good cause. I'm seeing none of it, obviously, and it would be great to be able to make an impactful contribution. So I'd appreciate it if you considered it, but otherwise, guys, let me know in the comments what you reckon about the Eagles this weekend. Like I've said a few times, haven't seen an Eagles win since JK kicked the sealer against Richmond in 2021, so that would be a nice return to the fold for me. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Up the Eagles.